Hello and welcome to a nice warm episode in the motor house. The heat has been fixed. Oh, joy of joys! Yes, the heat is repaired. It's warming up in here, thanks to the guys who came and took care of it for me. And now progress can continue. I did do the last weld, which was I had to flip this thing over to get it. There was a crack here, which I've mentioned previously. So that's done. And I took the rust converter and put it down here because it's nice to do it when this is in this position. I still have to flip the chassis over the other way and do it on the same thing on the other side, and we can continue on with painting. I think I probably will have to give this thing another good rinse outside, but we're getting 50-degree weather coming up. Another plus to getting that done right outside. Doesn't take long. I probably will not film that because you've seen it. It's been done. Why be redundant? Okay. Let's see what I can get up to next. The chassis is ready to paint. And I've got it covered up so it doesn't get a lot of dust and stuff on it. But there is a complication. I can't start painting because it just last few days it's been raining, and I mean raining, and it's got to clear up and get the humidity down because it's not good for painting in high humidity, and it is high humidity outside. It's only about 55% humidity in the garage at the moment, but the moment I turn on the exhaust fan to pull out fumes and stuff, it's going to draw in all that humid air into every crack and crevice for makeup, which will then cause problems painting. So while I wait for the weather to cooperate outside, there's other things that I can turn my attention to. Now, I did mention previously, these are the closure panels on the chassis for up where the exhaust is, and about thinking about doing something with them. Now, you can see, we talked about, I mentioned the crazy cutting they did with it before. You can see the original rolled edge. This is left from what the factory did. And it's just, there's no real pattern, it's all cut up. So I started thinking about what can I do to dress up the edge, give it a nice clean cut that's uniform, we'll say, around, and dress it up. I thought about like a small flat bar, thin flat bar, like 1/4 3/8, that I could weld around and do that. Or this is just a small piece I cut off for testing. This is a small little U-shaped piece of metal that can fit right over. Now, of course, we'll say that's wide. It is wide. Maybe too wide. But it is. Let's see if maybe it's going to be better up here. It is about the same width as the piece that couples the two of these together. But my idea is maybe to trim it down so there's just a smaller portion of that, trimmed it, just leave the top open. And I've got about 4 feet of it that I got. No, I got 8 feet of it that I got. So I have plenty to test. And with it smaller, shorter legs, we'll say. Maybe that's the best way to describe it. I could then possibly put it in my metal bender, which would give me the ability to form it around. And then tack weld it, dress it up, get that done. This is a future thing because it doesn't, it's like as I get to it, yeah, this is something I'm going to do more in the future. But I did think about it, got some material, and I will get to it. There's a few other matters I can work on, and let's discuss that next. So what's next? Next will be engine. I had planned to have the engine rebuilt by someone who had done previous 907 engines for me in the past, and I liked the work, but they seem to be, we'll say, unavailable for a while. So I'm going to have to switch gears and take it somewhere else. I was down at another shop that I looked into. They've been doing twin cam engines, and they just finished an Esprit engine. And I took a visit to their shop, got a nice look around the shop, and I would say a tour. Got a shop tour. That's a better way to describe it. And I liked what they were doing. They have their own in-house dyno. They have their own flow bench set up in a room. They do race engines primarily. And when I get the engine there, I'll do more information about them. But for now, I have to come up with a way to transport the engine a little bit better than it just sitting. You know, it needs some stands. So I'm going to weld up some engine stands, some mounts. This is the original mount that goes on the car. It gives me a pattern. I need a 4" by 4" plate in order to bolt onto the block, but I didn't have any 4" material, but I got 2.5. So if I weld 2.5 together, that will give me my plate. Then I can drill my holes for each side, and then my plan is to take 2" angle, and that'll go down to another plate. I'll cut this on the angle for level, because if you remember, the block is already on a 45. So it's coming off straight with this off of the mounting blades, and then making a cut to get your level for your feet. And then I'll put a plate on that so it sits on the floor. All of this is about ready to go into the sandblast cabinet, get cleaned up, and then I'll get some prep work done for welding it and make what I need. So that is where I'm going now while I'm waiting for the weather to cooperate. Welding is done for the plates, and they're still going to have trimmed aside on the edges, but I've marked the holes with a center punch. So let's go get drilling. I have hodgepodged, I guess that's the best way to put it, 2 brackets together for supporting the engine. These are just for supporting, and that's welded in. Goes down to an angle. Let me get out of the way, and you will see the laser line, and that's kind of how I figured out what the angle was. Is I set the pan. I set the pan at I stopped. I seem to see it shaking at level. Then I lowered it just a little bit, and that gave me what I was looking for. So this one is down here. I still have to cut that one off. So that was a leftover piece. Let's see if we get. So that one's just basically a straight weld on it. This side, I did have to put a level up and figure out what to cut, what angle to cut that piece off of right here. Right here on this side, so I can weld it in there. And I think this is turning out well. I still have to cut it and put. I want to put flat feet on it, and probably I'll come out a little hole and leave a hole or two, so I can screw it down to a block of wood if I want to, for definitely to make sure they can't spread apart. That would be another good thing. I don't want to weld anything between them, because then it's harder to get them on and off. So just simply bolt it on. Now if you're, let me sit down here, maybe get a better look at it. Now the metal that I have, and I'll just give some tips. I have a nice selection of metal. Why do I have it? Because if you look around at your local auctions, you'll find businesses that are shutting down to where the owner retired, or something happened to the business, and there's a nice selection of metal Usually there's probably anywhere from 30 to 100 pieces in every lot. And you can, or sometimes you'll see just small lots of what someone estate sale, and they've got some metal in their garage. Usually it goes cheap. You can buy it, put it in stock. When you need it, you can go in and say, oh, what can I use? That's how I do it. I just go around, and when I find, we'll say, things I can use in the future. May not have an exact use for it, but it's a good future item. So that's about how I keep myself stocked with something to make it work. May not have the exact, like I didn't have 4" by 4" plate in the right thickness in order to make those, but it did have something that I could weld and make up. So that's where it. I think that's enough for this moment. I'm going to go ahead and get this one cut, and I think I'll call it a night and do those base plates tomorrow. I have finished welding up the stands. Now to just attach them on, and still want a string of wood between the bottom of them. So that'll be actually to help it sit and it won't spread apart. And the stand is complete. And I just have to pick the engine back up off of the engine hoist, off the engine stand, and then put it flat on the ground, actually on a dolly, and then I can roll it around as needed, get it hoisted in the back of the truck, and get it off to the shop to get it worked on. So that is what I will say cobbled together for an engine stand out of the bits and bobs and pieces of metal that I have around. Okay, the engine is on the dolly, and this is about how it looks when it's sitting on the stand. Definitely gives it stability. It doesn't want to roll over because if anyone's familiar with the 900 series motors, they really are canted to one side, so they really want to flip over. So you need that support. So I think, let's see. I think that kind of ends what I want to put together for this video. And now I have the engine stand available. There's something else that I'm thinking I want to get done with it. And I'll save that for the next video. Alright, thanks for watching.